Hello to you watching. So we're back for another episode of The Walking Dead, and while I do my makeup. So if you recall, we last left off, our crew of refugees were at the CDC outside of Atlanta, and they were trying to get the door to get open. And right at the end of the episode, the doors open and we're all blinded by this light. And that's how the episode ended. Well, this episode picks up exactly where it left off, and you are again at the door and there's a bright light, and then you see the doctor that introduced himself in the last episode be like, hurry up, get in here. This was a bad idea. I shouldn't have done this, but I'm doing it anyway. Get whatever you need, because when these doors close, they're not going to open up again. That kind of stuff. So they run to and fro from their caravan and get into the building. And at first they're elated and they're like, oh, we did it. And they think this is exactly what they all wanted. And they're going to survive and it's going to be great. Where's my other foundation? There it is. And so when the next shot you see is of, well, they introduce themselves, go through their rigmarole of like who's who and what's happening. And the doctor, provides them food, real alcohol. All of the adults are very excited because it's the first time having alcohol in a very long time. And pretty much everyone gets drunk. Anyway, so you start feeling some tension happening with Shane and Lori, which is, never a good thing. But they're asking the doctor questions at first they're having a good old time at dinner. They can almost pretend like nothing's wrong. But then Shane asks the doctor what happened. Like, where is everyone? Why are you here alone? And the doctor, of course, tells the very sad story about how the disease started infecting everyone and they couldn't control it, and how the military failed at the CDC. And it was a buzzkill. It, little unfortunate. Everyone was having a good time and not having a good time anymore. Anyway, they get to sleep on some couches and shower. That was a big deal. They were all very excited that they all got to take hot showers because it's the first time they've had a hot shower in who knows how long. And there's a scene that Lori and Shane they confront what happened, and Lori is essentially sexually assaulted by Shane, and she attacks him and scratches him. So now he's got scratches on his neck from Lori defending herself that he'll have to answer for. And so she's freaked out by that. So there's a lot of tension there, which is when you're only have so many humans to interact with, it's not good to be on the outs with any of them. Anyway, they find out a little bit more about the science behind what's happening to the people, because the CDC doctor can show them video and give them some more information that they didn't have previously, where the human brain officially dies and then gets the main brain stem comes back, and it's only primal urges to eat and move and semi stay alive. So you learn that about the walkers. And you also see that the doctor had to kill his test subject 19, which is the namesake of the episode, TS-19. And they get a lot of information. They ask a lot of questions. Tempers are high. And Dale, our older gentleman, asks one final question. And he's like, I see this clock on the wall. What is it counting down to? What happens when the numbers go to 0? And The doctor admits that the countdown is counting down to when the building loses energy, like all the fuel cells run out. And he won't answer what happens when the fuel cells run out. So they ask the computer assistant what happens, and she announces that the entire building becomes decontaminated, which essentially means it blows up, like the lab did in the previous episode. So now there's panic, and no one wants to die. Well, almost no one wants to die. So they're trying to figure out a way out of the building and trying to get the doctor to open some kind of doors. And he's like, I told you, once the doors are shut, you're locked in here. And I knew it was a bad idea to bring you in, but you made me do it. Anyway, so the doctor opens a bay door that lets them get back up to like the main vestibule of the building, but they're still locked in. They can't get through the main doors. So they got to figure out something. Turns out, Andrea and one of the other women decide that they don't want to go on any further. They're like, if they're going to die, they're choosing to die now instead of later. Well, Dale, the older gentleman who said how much he cared for Andrea and her sister, is like, if you're not going, I'm not going. If you're dead, I'm dead. And essentially guilts Andrea into continuing to live, which, as you see at the end of the episode, isn't going to bode well for that dynamic moving forward. So at some point, like, they realize they can't break the windows open to get out of the building, and they're rapidly running out of time. And the one wife who did Rick's laundry is like, Rick, maybe I have something that can help. When you first showed up to camp, when you first showed up to camp, you had this in your pocket when I was doing your laundry, and it's the grenade. You remember the grenade from the first episode that we didn't see? He took it from the soldier in the tank, and we didn't see it again. Turns out there it is. She's been holding on to it. And it's a good thing too, because then they use the grenade to blow open the window and everyone is able to get out, including Andrea and Dale. So the doctor and the one woman stay behind to die in the decontamination, but Andrea and Dale are running behind everyone else and have to make a jump for it. But they all make it out, and the building blows up in probably a very expensive special effect. And they're on the road again. This was a really short episode, or at least a really short video, because not a whole lot happened in this episode. There was a lot of explanation and background. So you learned more about the disease and more about how it all occurred. Oh, one of the things you do learn, the test subject, the one that the doctor was observing and then had to kill after it came back, doctor's wife. He had to shoot his own wife in the head. So he, of course, is dealing with a lot of guilt on that part. And you also find out that he was just a lowly worker and not one of the top doctors at the CDC. He was just a grunt. I mean, he's still a doctor, so he still knows what he's talking about, but he wasn't the one who knew everything. That was his wife. So yeah, that's where I'm gonna leave it. I'm not even gonna let you finish seeing what I do with my face. So thanks for watching. Talk to you later. Bye.